We used to joke about Aaron Glenn, but the joke now is on us.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, we've wrapped up another week of Locked On Lions. It is Friday as we get you ready for Sunday night's game in Houston against the Texans, Friday, November 8th into Saturday, November 9th. Matt Derry with you. It's Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team indeed every single day. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate all of our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the podcast today. A couple of quick shout outs for some people that are new to the podcast, but we got to give them some love because they love the Lions. First and foremost is the legendary Anna Purdue. Grandma Anna, we love you. Thank you for checking out the podcast and watching or listening with your daughter Nancy. We appreciate that. My guy Sam Frank loves the Lions, has been a season ticket holder forever. His kids go to the games with him. His daughter Lena loves the team. Josie and Leo as well. So shout out to the Frank family. Appreciate you guys checking us out too, wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and watch us for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. The program today, Locked On Lions, is proudly sponsored by our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. Terms and conditions apply. Lions will be going to play on the road, fourth road game in their last five, Sunday night, primetime NBC 8:20 as they take on the Houston Texans. If you missed John from Locked On Texans yesterday, we talked to him in the crossover. Mike Tirico was on Wednesday with us, and Andrew Siciliano Tuesday. It was a WAER Syracuse Fest this week with Andrew talking Tuesday about this Darius Smith pickup. Tirico is on with us on Wednesday. He'll be on the call, of course, Sunday night on NBC. All of that, of course, you can rewind and find wherever you get your podcasts. There's a homecoming we got to get into of sorts coming up Sunday night with Aaron Glenn. I want to get into that. We got to talk about the opponent for Sunday night, the Houston Texans, who are a very good team, and kind of get into how this tough stretch is ending for the Lions and doing about as well as you could do. I mean, the team's 4-0 in this stretch. If they go 5-0, it could be historic based on how well they are playing. We have a call of the day as well, which we will get into. Jameson Williams is coming back. So all of that today here on Locked On Lions. Very quickly, quick injury update to start. Taylor Decker's got a sore shoulder. Has not practiced the last couple days. Dan Campbell saying today he wasn't going to practice on Friday. We're recording a little bit earlier today on a Friday. But Taylor Decker, there's a chance, may not play Sunday night against the Texans. That's a big loss. All right. Whether Decker's had a good year or not, you could argue. He's had some games where he hasn't played as well. But anytime we're talking about Jared Goff's blind side and the left tackle position, and you're going up against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson and a good pass rush for the Texans, and maybe Dan Skipper has to go out there and play or somebody like that, keep an eye on that. Hopefully Decker will still give it a go on Sunday, but not practicing the last couple of days, not a great sign for him to play on Sunday. As far as Nico Collins is concerned, this is at one point a couple weeks ago, he was leading the NFL in receiving yards, then injured his hamstring. There's a chance he doesn't play Sunday because he hasn't practiced the last couple of days either. So that could be a big, big loss for the Texans. They thought they were getting Collins back. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I mentioned the homecoming before. You know, for years I made jokes about Aaron Glenn, and I referred to him, and my buddy Michael Spath, who's one of our everydayers, always jokes with me about future head coach Aaron Glenn, FHC. And I made jokes about that because I always thought, like, why do people mention Aaron Glenn to be a head coach when the Lions defense has been so bad? And each year that he's been the defensive coordinator, we've seen marked improvement from this defense. All right. Right now, if you look at the stats, let's talk some stats. Lions are fifth in the league in scoring defense. They're giving up less than 20 points per game. They're 22nd in the league in yards allowed, which is what everybody usually uses. They're not a top 20 defense yet. They're first in third down defense, meaning they get off the field more than anybody else. And they're third in the league in takeaways. That's pretty good. I think you would take that based on all the crap that Aaron Glenn has taken from yours truly, as well as other media members, about the performance of this unit. And I was reading Dan Wetzel's article at Yahoo Sports, and I think Dan Wetzel is one of the best columnists there is nationally. He actually is a Michigander. I've known Dan a long time. He's great. Dan wrote a column about Aaron Glenn, and there was a great quote in there from AG today. I think he talked to Wetz at some point this week. And they asked him about what's the identity of this defense, sitting at 7-1, people calling the Lions the best team in the NFL. And Glenn said, quote, "We are a tough, physical, violent operation that loves to play man coverage. That's who we are. That's our identity." End quote. And check out the piece at Yahoo Sports. It's a good article about Aaron Glenn. He's going home. He grew up in Houston, played at Texas A&M, just like Dan Campbell did. And now he's going back home to coach against, when he was growing up, there was no Houston Texans. It was Houston Oilers. But regardless, it's a homecoming for AG. It's an opportunity for him to flex a little bit and show off in front of a ton of friends and family that I'm sure will be at the game this weekend. But it's a remarkable story because, like I said, he was bashed. People questioned him. I think it was the start of the 2022 season when the Lions were so bad. It's like maybe they need to fire Aaron Glenn. It was brought up a few times last year as well. Yet at the end of last year, it was toward December, a players poll said, which defensive coordinator would you most want to play for? And he won it. And that was not just the Lions. That was all teams and all players polled around the league. The guy can coach. And last week, and I know it was a driving rainstorm, last week against the Green Bay Packers, pretty good offense. You held them to 14 points. That was with your best secondary guy, arguably, Brian Branch, out because he got ejected. That's with your best defensive player, Aiden Hutchinson, out for the year. You got other guys injured. You got Marcus Davenport out. Rodrigo is out. You had a bunch of guys out. Derek Barnes has been hurt all year. Yet this defense has made big-time improvements yet again. Kirby Joseph is having a Pro Bowl type year. The linebackers keep improving. The interior defensive linemen, Aleem McNeil, Onwuzurike, Reeder, guys are getting better. Yes, we know the pass rush is not up to snuff yet. Hopefully you get Pascal back this week. Hopefully Zadarius Smith plays on Sunday. But when are we going to start really talking about Aaron Glenn as being a big-time assistant in this league and doing it consistently? Last year he did interview for some head coaching jobs. Ben Johnson's always the first name that gets mentioned when you talk about the Lions and their assistants, and the Lions have a very good staff. But man, how about giving AG some love? I think this is really cool that there have been some national columns written about him, going back to Houston where he's from, and about to face one of the better offenses in the league when healthy. The Texans haven't been all that healthy this year. Their offensive line's been a mess. Go back and watch the show or listen to the show from yesterday where we talked about their left guard and center problems. You got a dynamic quarterback in CJ Stroud. You got a Pro Bowl type receiver in Collins. If he plays, Tank Dell's good. Dalton Schultz, good tight end. Joe Mixon's an excellent running back. Very good. That's a good team. So it's a cool story for AG to take his defense that's been maligned for years without some of their better players, including Aiden Hutchinson, and going toe-to-toe with the Texans. And there's an identity. Like Glenn just said, we're tough. We're an operation. We are hard-nosed. We get in your face. We want to play man coverage. A lot of teams don't have the guts to do it. Sit back in zone, hope you give up on 3rd and 9, a 6-yard gain, and have them punt. Aaron Glenn's thinking, no, let's put our guys in man coverage. Let them be stars. Let them be physical. Watch Carlton Davis play. Watch Terrion Arnold play, how physical they are. And wear down the other team. And that's what they've been doing. I mean, when they blew out the Cowboys, they held the Cowboys to 9 points? Like the Minnesota offense, which was scoring on teams at will. Lions kept them down. All of a sudden, the Lions have a defense, a real one, a real defense. Remember when Hutchinson got hurt? Oh, Lions are screwed. Defense is going to give up 30 a game. They're number 5 in scoring defense. They're giving up just over 18 points per game. That's pretty good. So flowers for Aaron Glenn. He has done a really, really, really good job. All right, coming up next, let's get into a deep dive. Oh, gosh, if I could speak today, it'd be great. Let's do a little deep dive into the schedule, shall we? And what the Lions have done and kind of a historical look at that. We've got much more to do on a Friday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. But first, ladies and gentlemen, Locked On Lions for today, brought to you by our friends at Arena Club. For most of us that like collecting cards, the idea of spending $2,000 or more on a Mahomes rookie card just isn't in the cards, all right? We all love collecting cards. I do, but there's some serious money you got to drop on these things. Thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Every card that I listed was hit from last week's Arena Club slab pack drop. Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value, a couple view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. All right. Arena Club slab packs are kind of revolutionizing the repack game with transparency. It's kind of cool. So whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying cards, Arena Club is the card collecting platform you have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL. That's arenaclub.com/LockedOnNFL. Use that code LockedOnNFL and you get 10% off your first purchase. Slab packs from Arena Club. We love that they're a part of Locked On Lions. And the program today also brought to you by Hims. Your sex life is important, all right? Your schedule is very busy. You don't have the time to go to the doctor's office to get treated for ED. Through Hims, you can get a personalized ED treatment without stepping foot outside your door. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch, all right? Hims provides access to a wide range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. 95%. The process is 100% online, so no need to go to the doctor and have an uncomfortable visit. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products, which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. I'm Matt Derry back with you. It's a Friday edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We will be with you for a late night pod Sunday night following Lions and Texans. Don't forget, all right, you're going to get a live show with Jake Riepma on Locked On Sports Detroit on YouTube, and it's called The Postcast. His post before mine. All right, so if it comes up in your feed that you're a subscriber to Locked On Lions, you get Jake's show Sunday night, you get my show. His is called The Postcast. Mine is just a Sunday night show. All right, so watch us both. Check us both out wherever you get your podcasts. All right, remember when the schedule came out and we went, oh my God, look at that stretch in November. At Green Bay, October, mid-October. At Dallas, at Minnesota, home against Tennessee, at Green Bay, and at Houston. Oh my gosh, it's going to be impossible. When I originally did the schedule game, I had the Lions going 2-3 during that stretch. What an idiot I look like now. I had them losing to Dallas. I had them beating Minnesota. I had them beating Tennessee. I had them losing last week to Green Bay and losing this week to Houston. By the way, I'm picking the Lions to win again. If you checked out our show yesterday, I said 31-28 or something like that. I had them going 2-3 during the stretch. Do you folks realize this team could go 5-0? All they got to do is beat the Texans on Sunday night. Look, Houston's going to play well. They're off a loss. They're a little bit dangerous. They're going to be in the red uniforms. But from a historical standpoint and just looking at it, and I didn't have my crack research team look at this stuff, but a stretch like this, when was the last time the Lions had 4 games on the road in 5? Against pretty good opponents. I mean, it's never easy to win at Dallas. I know Dallas is not great. But at Minnesota, Vikings at one point were undefeated. At Green Bay, always difficult to win at Lambeau. And this week at Houston, a team that won the AFC South last year and hosted a playoff game, won a playoff game, and is going to win that division again this year with a very good quarterback and a good coach in D'Amico Ryans. To go 5-0 would just be unprecedented. That's a tough stretch, very tough stretch. And I know the Lions are playing 3 straight AFC South teams here. Texans, Jags next week at home, and then at the Colts. But if they pull this off and win on Sunday, man, that would just be so impressive. And I'll be here to tell you right now. And it depends on how the game goes and how many mistakes they make and what happens in the game and how I'll react on Sunday. But if the Lions lost on Sunday night, I wouldn't be that stunned and I wouldn't be that upset. It's not easy to win in this league. It's not easy to play at Dallas or at Minnesota, arguably the loudest building in the league, at Lambeau in the rain, or at Houston, team that's about to win their division for the 2nd straight year. I hope you sit back, relax, and take a deep breath and soak this in, because you may never see something like this again. The Lions are good. They're going to be good. They've got a nice base here and they've got a nice identity. But this kind of stretch to maybe go undefeated in this 5-game push here, man, that would be impressive. And it's a credit and a testament to Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, the players, and everybody for they put the work in. They're focused every week. They start by running the football. They pound you. They're physical. And these are not slouches that they're beating here. I know Tennessee sucked the other day. I get that. That was a bad Titans team. But you play who's on your schedule. But the rest of these games, if you go 5-0 during the stretch, I'm going to tip my cap, man, to this team, because that would be extremely impressive. We know this. Sunday night, the return of Jameson Williams to the Lions active roster and a chance for him to kind of redeem himself a little bit. I see a scenario Sunday night, and John mentioned this yesterday from Locked On Texans. If Jalen Petrie, who's a good cornerback, all right, don't get me wrong, but if Jalen Petrie is lined up at any point on Jameson Williams, Ben Johnson has got to find a way, or Jared Goff has got to find a way to get him the football. Because last week against the Jets, Devontae Adams, 33-year-old, was running by him every time. And Petrie's a good slot corner, but gets a little bit exposed in deep coverage and in man coverage. Keep an eye on Jamo to have a couple of big gainers Sunday night. He's fresh. He's healthy. He's missed the last 2 games. Wants to right or wrong a little bit. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Jameson Williams can do Sunday night, because I think that Stingley and the other corners that the Texans have, Lassiter, the rookie, they're pretty good, and they're maybe going to try to take Amon-Ra away as Jared Goff's kind of security blanket. So getting Jameson Williams back is going to be huge. Now the Lions yesterday waived Isaiah Williams, who was Mr. August this year. That guy was the best player on the Lions in the preseason. But Detroit right now, with the roster crunch and having to move guys in and get Zadarius Smith in, waived Isaiah Williams. The hope for them, I'm sure, is nobody picks him up or claims him, and then he lands back on the Lions practice squad. Because Isaiah Williams really had a nice start to his rookie year. Returns kicks very well. Had a great August, and I think could be a part of the future of this team. But with the roster crunch that the team has, with all the injuries that they have, especially across the defensive line, and they had to make a move yesterday, so Isaiah Williams was let go. But I'm sure the team is hoping clears waivers, doesn't land on somebody's 53-man, and can head back to the Lions practice squad. Really cool. A call of the day. We will do that coming up next. We go to the West Coast for our call of the day. And you can become our caller or call of the day by going to our voicemail system, which is speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. That's speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page to be our call of the day. We will play you the winner from today. We'll do that coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions today, proudly brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. It's not just a job board, all right? LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job or might even be looking to be open to a perfect role, though. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. If you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're not hanging out on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. 2.5 small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Here's what I want you to do. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And a proud sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network is FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's right. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL. We do it all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, our call of the day comes from the West Coast today. Really nice dude. We appreciate our man Ty for checking in. He is our call of the day. Let's take a listen.
Hey, what's up, Matt? This is Ty, all the way out from Orem, Utah. Huge Lions fan. I'm a senior in high school and been a fan for, probably 11 years now. Been through some tough times, but enjoying the Lions' success now. And we're huge Lions fans out here. Just the other week, we had a watch party for the Seattle game. Had half the high school come. It was about 300 people. It was a pretty good party, and had a great time watching the Lions win. But love your podcast, and my question for you is, what is your favorite inspirational story that has come from these last couple seasons of Lions football? Thanks, Matt. Love what you do. Keep up the good work.
All right, who knew, ladies and gentlemen, that we had listeners in Orem, Utah? There are Lions watch parties in Orem, Utah with a bunch of high school kids. Fantastic. Thank you, Ty, for checking in. That was a super nice call. And Ty asked a very interesting question. Best feel-good story for the last couple of years. You know what I love? I love the fact that arguably the best team in the NFL is female-owned. You got a female owner running this thing in Sheila Hamp, and she has done a tremendous job. And I'm well aware the Lions have been female-owned for a long time. Once Mr. Ford passed and his wife, Martha Firester, when Ford took over, the Lions were female-owned. There are other female owners across the NFL. I believe Virginia McCaskey with the Bears and others. But, in the climate that we're in right now and everything that's going on this week and everything else, I'm not going to get into that. But I just think it's really a cool story that arguably the best team in the league, and I know Kansas City's undefeated, but there are plenty of people that think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. I think Andrew Siciliano said it the other day that he likes the Lions a lot. The Lions owner is a female. It goes to show that females can own professional sports teams and have success doing that. I think that's a story that is kind of cool. This organization has come a long way. It was a dumpster fire forever. And Mr. Ford, I think he wanted to win. I do. But I just don't think he ever put the right people around him. I think he put his friends around him. I think he put people that he trusted around him that weren't necessarily football people. When I moved here in August of 96 and Chuck Schmidt was running the team, all right, Chuck Schmidt probably had no business running the team. Art Regner used to do those Lions post-game shows on WDFN, and Art was amazing doing it. He used to refer to Chuck Schmidt as Clown Schmidt. Then the Matt Millen experiment where Bill Ford Jr., God bless Bill, he's an incredible worker and businessman, but he told his dad, I think Matt Millen's the guy. And his dad's like, okay, let's give it a chance. And Matt Millen turned out to be the single worst general manager in professional sports history. This ownership group thought Bob Quinn was. Sheila has been unbelievable. The support that she gives Brad, the fact that everybody stays, that the front office has been in place for years, that coaches want to stay. I think that's the coolest story, Ty, of this whole thing. A lot of great stories and inspirations, but I think Sheila Hamp is my choice, at least off the top of my head here today. All right, Lions and Texans Sunday night, big game. I think the Lions will win by 3. I know the spread's 3.5. Give me Detroit 31-28. Big week ahead, a big game ahead on Sunday night. Can't wait for Lions to be in prime time again. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again Sunday night post game following Lions and Texans.